Turn 3, Solitaire variant of Plains Indians War. There are about 10 turns, 9, 10 turns in this game. And I'm trying to do a video playthrough of each turn of the Solitaire variant. So here's the situation here. The orange is having some concentrations. This is the one we want to be concerned with. We want to clear the wagon trails. Here's a victory point space we need to be concerned with. So situation there. Progressing on the railroads here. I got a card coming up. Settlers do that we can end up adding to. So this is going to be some good progress here, because this is becoming a concern to us, particularly for the exodus of the wagon trails here. So let's get busy. Do the first draw. There are 7 tokens if you've been watching the videos. This is turn 3. Okay, so settlers are out first. And I think what I want to do is play this card. Place 2 brown cubes in the Sacramento box and 2 black cubes in the mountain rail section. It's a text card, and it's in lieu of playing the written section. You can actually use these cards, and for example, I have 2 other text cards here. You can actually use it as to move 2 groups, 2 regions if you need. And I usually haven't. Maybe one time I've used it in all the games I've played, and I played a lot of these games. So let's put this in a discard pile, and we're going to get 2 brown cubes and put them in Sacramento, and put 2 black cubes to build a railroad. So here's our pool. And now we've got a sizable force here. Can add a few more cavalry possibly. And then we'll get 2 railroad pieces. And we are blasting through the mountains. We just need 1 more and it's open. Maybe we can get it this turn with a good die roll. All right. And so that could be the turn. It could be over. I don't have any cards. I don't know if I want to use this for the movement part. No attacks regions adjacent to railroad heads. Well, again, I talked about that. Railroad's not built on this end, so I only can use it for this end. It would be a good time to use it since the Indians haven't come out yet, but I'm going to save it. And then this one is for the wagon trails. And again, protect the wagons, no attack against the wagons. There's only 3 on the trails. Let me save this. So I think that's going to be my turn for the settlers, and I will end it as such. Next is yellow. Here's your wagons. Take 2 from the pool. We put them in St. Louis. Everybody advances. So we're going to move this guy here to this section. We're going to advance this one here. We'll advance this one here. And that's it. And go ahead and I'll split these up 1 and 1. All right, so there's no immediate engagement on the solitaire rules. We roll 2 dice, red for the north and orange for the south. And in wagon trail number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5, but this is also 5. This is a 5 and 6. We're going to have an engagement. And then on trail 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing here. So 1 cube. There's going to be what I like to call a nighttime attack. Even though there's a blue cube here, this is solitaire rules. It's nighttime. The Indian's going to sneak in. You don't need any cubes and hit it. 1 cube, 1 brown dice. Any symbols is a hit, and it's blank. So no hit. But since it was attack, it advances to the Rockies. And that is the first wagon point for the human players. So they lucked out on that. I'll pick up my wagon dice. And we'll move on to the next token draw. And it's red. If you haven't watched the other videos, this is the AI. And the AI doesn't use cards. It uses D12s. And we're going to place 2 red cubes in section number 2 in the north, and 2 and 4. So here's 2, and here's 4. So there's going to be a conflict here with the blue cavalry force. So we're going to take 2 red and 1 blue. Oh my goodness. So cavalry doesn't hit. There are 2 hits here, only needed 1 hit, and this guy is a goner. Now, since we eliminated the protection force, and this is the normal rules, there's going to be an attack against this wagon cube here. So 1 brown dice. This will be rolled. And it's a hit. In solitaire, any symbol, treaty, or hit symbol is a hit. And so it starts adding up. That's 4 wagon points for eliminating the wagons for the Indians. And that is red's turn. I don't see any other conflicts, so we're going to go ahead and move. Those are pretty quick turns. Black, that's the railroads. So we have 3 settlers lined up. These guys are representing farmers, railroad builders, African Americans who migrated to the West, cowboys, gamblers, whatever. These are the civilians. The blue are the U.S. Cavalry forces. So here we go. In this case, they're acting as railroad builders. But also you can think of it as the railroad companies and the U.S. government through the Homestead Act and whatnot are granting tracts of land, 160 acres of land, and giving it to them for free as long as they live on it and work on it for 5 years. And it's a win-win situation. So they need supplies. Where are they going to get it from? The railroads. And then if they're growing excess and they want to sell to the market, what's going to be their transportation to the marketplace? The railroads. So give them the land for free and you produce business. Okay, so they did their job and we can use them for other things later, maybe as cattlemen or town folks or something like that. And they did their job in that sector. All right, but what about this side? Well, we rolled 2 dice. Give me 1 symbol. Give me, oh, there it is. There it is. That's a symbol. That means we complete the railroad, and now we open up the gates of Sacramento. These guys can start moving in and taking care of this menace right here. Okay, that's the railroad turn. I don't see anything else. I am going to draw another cube, and it's orange. So the Indians are coming out. I'm going to take 2 D12s. I'm going to put 2 orange cubes in number 4 and, I'm sorry, in number 2 and number 9. Here's 2. And I labeled these myself. The prototype didn't come with it. I used print them out on postal label paper and cut them out and just stuck them on there, and it was really easy. Okay, so that was 2, and then number 9 is already maxed out with a concentration, so I'm not going to put any there. And is there any conflicts? There's no conflicts that I can see, so that's the end of orange turn. We've got 5 cubes out. Number 6 is purple. Okay, so just to show you, the first thing we're looking for is 2 cube concentrations. Orange in the south, red in the north, in the purple region. Well, here we go. So this rule triggers. What that means is if the first thing you do, if there's any 2 cube Indian concentration, you're going to take 1 cube and put it in each adjacent territory that is controlled by the U.S. forces. So they control Canada, they control this region and this region. And you can start seeing this kind of pandemic spread here. That's why it's imperative to break this up if you're able to. All right, then the next thing you do is you roll 2 D6, 1 red, 1 orange, for placement 6 and 6. So that's going to be outside the United States. So this is Canada and this is Mexico. So 2 here, but there's already 1. Maximum is 2, so you only place 1. And 2 in Mexico. So we're starting to have a lot of action. Now, for the purple's turn, take 1 cube out their pool, and you can place it in any sector, north or south. So here's the thread here. We got 2. I got some guys here that can come in and help out. There's a maximum of 2 cube limit for the orange and red Indians, but not so for the purple. They can have up to 8 here, and actually can have help from cavalry and settlers if I can get them there later in the game. So I think we're okay here if I activate that. This is the problem here. This is the major problem. And I need to try to break this guy up here, or else we're going to keep having that problem. By the way, the spread to adjacent areas is if it's enemy controlled, you know, if it's controlled by purple, and so you know, it doesn't spread if the red wins these battles, but I still want to try to break that up. Okay, so now I have one migration or one movement, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and try to save Mexico and move both of these guys here. All right, well, let's deal with this one first. So 2 orange and 2 purple dice. We roll. And peace symbols do not count in the solitaire version in purple territory. So we got a hit apiece. So 1 orange goes back to their pool. We don't use the casualty box for Indians in the solitaire version, but we do so for the U.S. player, their casualty box. So now down to 1 orange dice and 2 purple. Peace symbol means nothing. 1 hit for purple, and that takes care of this guy. Good job. All right, Mexico is saved. Those were maybe Apache raiders into Mexico, and these would represent maybe the Mexican government forces, okay, or other Indians, maybe other Apaches who were been recruited to go after the rogue Apache Indians like Geronimo and Cochise. Okay, so let's deal with this situation over here. I think what I'd like to do maybe is let's go ahead and try to break that up. And I'm not necessarily trying to win it. I'm just trying to get it down to 1 at this moment. So 2 red and 1 purple dice. We're gonna roll, and peace symbol doesn't mean anything, but we got to hit a piece, and that's exactly what I was hoping for. So broke up to 2 cube concentration. All right, that's a win. Now let's go with Canada. And this maybe the Nez Perce moving, migrating, or how about Sitting Bull, who actually migrated to Canada at some point. And these would be the Canadian Mounties, or maybe some of their peaceful Indians that they recruited to fight the other Indians. So whatever it is, there's a conflict there, and we got to get these guys out of Canada. So we've got 2 red and 2 purple forces going at it. And peace symbols don't mean anything in the solitaire version in the purple turn. So we got to hit a piece. Broke up that concentration of 2. And we continue with 1 fight each. Peace symbols are really treaty symbols that lead to peace, but not for the solitaire version. Okay, now, if I wanted to, Indians can't retreat, but purple rolled a blank dice. 1 guy could retreat out of there, but, you know, that's 5 points. Indians get 5 points for controlling Canada or Mexico at the end of the game. So I need a... Nope, didn't work out. So red gets 1 hit. It was a good effort, but it didn't pay off. And now the Sitting Bull has migrated, or Nez Perce have reached Canada, and we need to take care of that in the future placements. Still got 2 more conflicts here. So let's deal with this guy right here. Let's deal with this guy. 1-on-1, 2 blanks, and nothing. That's the 3rd. Okay, we finally, purple got a hit. Good. All right, and then 1 more engagement. Ooh, that's nothing. And good, purple, good rolling. Okay, that's the end of purple's turn. It's a little bit longer, but you know, it's more effective. Every one of these cube draws, there's something going on, and that's what I like. You're not just having to ignore the sector. All right, the last cube for the turn is blue cavalry forces. Let me fill up the settlers before I forget. Give them the 3 hand. But here, what you have is choice of 3 cube placement, 3 cube, both 2 activation, both 2 movement, and this is 2 cube placement with only 1 movement. So, do I want 3 or do I want 2? Let's look at the situation here. This is the only group I can activate here. If I place them here, I want to activate this, right? Because I got some situation. That's one. I want to activate this too to try to maybe take care of this or these guys here. And then 3 may help by adding some others. If I come this area, I'm trying to think if I have that. So, but let's kind of see what we have here. I think I'm not going to be strong enough. I want to do, this would be 1 activation. All right, so I'm going to move here. In the second activation, I'm going to move this guy here. I'm going to make this vacant, but these settlers can come in later and kind of fill this void here, hopefully. So that's 1 activation. In my second activation, I want to clear up these trails, or maybe these first 2 sections here. The railroad is complete, so I can come out now. So what I'll do is I'll take 1 cavalry force in each sector, and it could each take 2 settlers group. And this is going to be a hard fight here, but I need to try to do something. And yeah, that's in that, if I do this 2-1, and this is what I'm looking at, all right, I can add 2 cubes. So that's the one I'm going to choose. And 2 cubes I can put over here. So this is all the same activation. So I will take another blue cube and through influence movement, bring 2 more settlers. And just to build up a force here, I'm going to take this guy and move him here. All right, so they can move 1 regent. Nope, this was 1 regent, 1 activation. Sacramento was a 2nd activation, 1 regent. And so I got rid of my weak cavalry card and took care of business. So now we're going to have some engagements. Let's go ahead and fight this one here. All right, and we're going to need 2 red dice, 2 blue dice, and 2 brown dice. And that's a drop. That doesn't count. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, we got a hit, hit, hit. The rest are blank. So 2 cavalry hits, 1 Indian hit. 2 cavalry hits, and you take from the largest force. So we're going to have to reduce the brown, put them in the casualty box. Okay, so that leaves 1 red dice, 2 blue, and 2 brown. Let's finish this guy off. Okay, we got a peace symbol, our treaty symbol, so it leads the peace. The hit marker doesn't count. So that forces the smaller guy out, and it'd be this guy. He can move here. I can actually move him into here if I wanted to, which I'm thinking about, but then they're going to get to roll another dice. Or I can move him into a bigger concentration here. You know what? Let me move him here. Just going to try this to eliminate him. All right, so this region is now secured. So let's go to here, and we're going to use 2 brown, 2 blue, 1 red, and 1 orange dice. Okay. I don't, no ambush because there's 2 pieces. If there was just 1 by itself, it'd be an ambush. So here we go. Well, that red caused me a casualty, so maybe it wasn't the best move, but I was trying to get rid of it. And the cavalry have 2 hits. So the 1 American casualty is going to come from the settlers, goes to the casualty box, and the 2 cavalry hits on the Indians. We're going to take both of these guys out and put them in their respective pool. Again, we don't use the casualty box in a solitaire version for the Indians. All right, so we did that engagement, and we got 2 more here. So they're both red. So let's do this one. This one right here. Okay. Hit a piece. 1 red's going. And I'll have a choice. But this is cannon fodder. The cavalry is just it's too good to get rid of. I'm going to have to get rid of the settler. And now we're down to 1 red dice. And we roll. All right. We've got hit a piece. So that takes care of the 1 red. And I have to go from the larger 4. So that would be the casualty. This area has now been cleared. So here we go. 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 brown to deal with. Roll. And it's hit a piece again. This is costly, but clear the area, and I'm taking a brown out. Keep the cavalry guy there. And that's it for blue. And that is the 7-1, folks. That was turn 3. Hope you enjoyed it.